Hello everyone, this is Miss Mary and I am very excited to share with you my first at-home video lesson. During this series, I will talk about the incredible art of storytelling. This episode will focus on story elements. As we go along, I encourage you to think of examples from your favorite books, TV shows, and movies, and then begin to craft a story of your very own. Storytelling. Humans have been telling stories since the dawn of time. Cultures of every kind have passed them down through generations, using them to entertain, educate, preserve culture, and instill moral values. Throughout its history, storytelling has developed a fundamental structure. You can break the rules, but first know which rules you're breaking. Story elements are the foundation of any story. We'll start with the basics: setting, characters, problem, and solution. The setting is the where and the when of the story. It helps the readers create a mental picture. To establish the setting, first give the readers a sense of the time of day and the time of year. If it's relevant, indicate whether it's in the past, the present, or the future. Then take time to describe where the story is taking place and what the atmosphere of the environment feels like. Is it hot and dry? Is it cold and rainy? Once you decide on your setting, you'll want to create some characters. Characters are the people, animals, or things in a story. Try to make sure the reader cares about the fate of the characters so they stay interested. There are several different types of characters. We'll start by dividing them into main characters and background characters. Main characters are the ones that the story follows. They are usually round, meaning we know a lot about them, and dynamic, meaning they go through an internal change. Background characters are everyone else. They tend to be flat, meaning we know very little about them, and static, meaning they stay the same. When we talk about main characters, there are two important figures: the protagonist and the antagonist. The protagonist is the character that the story focuses on. They're often portrayed as a good person and end up being the hero at the end. It is the protagonist who is confronted with the problem and is forced to solve it. The antagonist is the character in direct conflict with the hero. They are often portrayed as the bad guy and end up being the villain. The antagonist either creates the problem or stands in the way of the protagonist finding a solution. After establishing some key characters, you can figure out the problem. Every story is based off a problem or series of problems. A problem is something that challenges the characters or goes wrong for them. Writing a good problem helps keep the momentum of the story and keeps readers engaged. There are 4 types of problems your story can have. First, there's character versus character. In this situation, the main character conflicts with another character in the story. In character versus environment, a force of nature causes a problem for the characters. Character versus self involves the protagonist struggling with an internal decision or battle. And finally, character versus society, where the characters are at odds with a group, community, or culture. After you've invented some problems for your characters, you're ready to determine the solution. The solution is how the characters solve the problem or overcome their obstacles at the end of the story. This is the big bow on top. A well-crafted solution will give the reader a sense of closure and everything will be tied together. And that's it. Thanks for sharing your time with me. I look forward to hearing the stories that you've created. Join me next time for more about storytelling. Keep those minds and bodies growing.